Everything you're about to see in this video has been captured on real Nintendo 64 hardware. None of the game footage has been emulated or doctored in any way. This is the real deal. Hey guys, Nintendrew here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Super 64 from EON Gaming, a brand new plug-and-play HDMI adapter for Nintendo 64. Now, EON claims that this product will help you get the best visual signal possible from the original hardware, and today we're going to put that to the test. In this video, we'll check out exactly what the Super 64 can do, and we'll put it head-to-head with some existing upscalers on the market to determine which configuration is truly the ultimate 64 setup. Let's get to it. Alright, so in the current day and age, if you try to hook up any retro console to a modern HD TV, inevitably it's going to end up looking a little smudged and blurry. Newer display technologies, combined with larger screens overall and substandard scaling methods, can cause your favorite games of yesteryear to look pretty rough, and the N64 can be particularly guilty of this. Now, thankfully, a number of products have entered the market which claim to help with these issues, but as you'll see in just a moment, none of them are clearly more ideal than the rest. Up until now, you've basically had three main options for connecting your N64 to an HD TV. The first option would be to pick up an upscaling converter or line doubler, something like a FrameMeister or the RetroTINK 2X. These devices can upscale your low-resolution content by stretching the image without sacrificing those sharp-edged pixels. A line doubler is great to help clean up that video signal, but it still relies on composite input, those red, yellow, and white plugs which have a tendency to send out a grainy, distorted image. The second option would be to purchase and install an HD mod for your system, such as the Ultra HDMI kit. This solution takes advantage of a true digital RGB signal and transmits a crystal clear image over HDMI. The downside here is, if you're not super tech savvy, you'll probably need to hire an outside technician to install the mod for you. And even without that extra cost, these boards tend to be pretty pricey for a DIY solution. The third and final option would be to just use the system's included cables directly with your TV, assuming it still has those legacy inputs. This is obviously the easiest and cheapest route, but results in the poorest possible image quality, which is exactly the issue we're trying to address. Enter the Super 64. This adapter from the folks behind the EON GCHD for GameCube requires no outside power, no complicated installation, and aims to provide the cleanest, sharpest picture possible from your unmodified 64 console. It retails for $149.99, link in the description, and allows you to hook up your system with any standard HDMI cable. On top of the line doubling technology you'd find in other upscalers, it also features a slick mode option, which aims to smooth the edges of those sharp pixels in an intelligent manner without blurring the underlying image. So enough talk, let's see this thing in action. Now, before testing the Super 64 myself, I wasn't exactly sure what would set it apart from something like the RetroTINK. They're both around the same price, but obviously this is a product which only works with one specific console, as opposed to a conventional upscaler which will handle anything you throw at it. But as I started comparing them, I began to realize what makes the Super 64 so unique. Because it is specifically built with the N64 in mind, the engineers at EON have managed to produce a significantly clearer 480p image than a typical line doubler can offer. Really, there is some serious wizardry going on here. True to its claims, I have never seen a signal this clear from an unmodified console over S-Video. I'll put some comparisons up on screen for you to check out as we continue throughout the rest of the video. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an Ultra HDMI modded console to compare it to because they are very pricey. But given that the Super 64 is cheaper and requires no additional installation, I can imagine it will probably give them a run for their money with a picture this clean. Now, all of this is to say nothing of the Super 64's additional Slick Mode feature, and quite honestly, Slick Mode is my favorite aspect of this new adapter. On the side of the unit is a physical switch which allows you to turn the feature on and off on the fly, and the results can be pretty incredible. With Slick Mode enabled, the Super 64 will process the console's output through a smoothing filter which aims to polish rough, jagged edges without sacrificing image quality and with no additional input lag. The result is an overall more modern looking visual style, with cleaner polygons and UI elements with less aliasing. Of course, this sort of look may not be your cup of tea, so it's nice that you're able to toggle the feature on or off with the press of a button. But personally, I really like the way this new mode handles with the N64 library, and it's something you don't often see implemented in products like this so well. It reminds me a bit of the mCable from Marseille. If you're not familiar, the mCable is another video processor which uses an intelligent upscaling algorithm to almost repaint existing pixels at a higher resolution. Like I said, it's similar to Slick Mode, but works with any HDMI device. Now, the folks at Marseille are working on a brand new product utilizing this technology specifically for retro games called the mClassic, and fortunately for us, I have this newest model in hand ready for review. Now that's another video for another day, but I figured while we're here, why not try pushing the Super 64 to its limits by smoothing that picture even further with this newest model. So I combined the two adapters together, and I think you'll be impressed with what you see. Now, although we are technically upscaling the 64 to 1080p with this setup, obviously an adapter like this can't work miracles, but it can help further push the limits of what's possible with an unmodded console. And just look at this footage. With the Super 64's Slick Mode enabled, on top of the mClassic's intelligent upscaling algorithm, we can see an even cleaner final image with jagged edges drastically reduced, and in some cases removed entirely. This is especially apparent with smaller UI elements like the minimap in Ocarina of Time. Notice the areas I've highlighted in red here. And here's another example from Star Fox 64 with the R-Wing in the main menu. It really looks like the ship is being rendered at a higher internal resolution. I almost couldn't believe my eyes. Using both the Super 64 and the mClassic in combination is now my preferred way to play, and in my opinion, this is the absolute best picture you can get from a stock unmodded 64 console. So now that we have this ultimate setup for HD upscaling, let's compare it with where we started. Side by side with the standard composite output, the difference becomes truly striking. I definitely can't imagine going back to the basic AV cables. There's not much more I can say without repeating myself, so I'll go ahead and let the footage speak for itself for a while.
It's me, Mario!
Message from General Pepper. Priority 1.
Corneria, fourth planet of the Lilat system. James McCloud, Pigma Dangar, and Peppy Hare of the Star Fox team were sent to investigate.
It's about time you showed up, Fox. You're the only hope for our world.
Open the wings! Falco here. I'm fine. This is Peppy. All systems go. I see him up ahead. Let's rock and roll!
Finally, before we wrap up, I did want to specifically showcase some gameplay from Perfect Dark. This game is somewhat unique on the platform in that it has a higher than average resolution for an N64 title, and an option for 16:9 widescreen. Even without any special processing or filters, the game already looks pretty good for being almost 20 years old. But with our new HD 64 setup, it looks incredible. It's hard to believe this game is running on a machine that's almost as old as I am, but with new products like the Super 64 built specifically for those of us stuck in the 90s, our favorite childhood titles can feel right at home yet again on the big screen. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this showcase of the Super 64 from EON Gaming. As always, if you're interested in any of the products I've shown in today's video, I'll have links in the description below where you can check them out. Of course, if you did enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing to Nintendrew for all sorts of cool gaming content, and make sure to share it with any friends who might find it interesting. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hey guys, thanks again for watching and for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you like this one, here are 2 more videos you might like as well. As always, if you like what I do and would like to help out the channel, I've got a link to my Patreon on the right side of your screen. And otherwise, I hope you'll look forward to the next one. Take care!